Welcome back to the North American Open Division. We've got Meme Regime versus Lafayette College here. My name is Paulsible. I'm here with Lafon. We're going to jump straight in here to Lafayette Tower.
It's going to be our first map of Control, and Lafayette, they kind of played a couple of tournaments recently. We've seen them a little bit here and there, and have looked, it's funny to see the collegiate program kind of start up, right? Because we've seen a ton of, if you've been following collegiate esports for the last, I'd say 3 years or so, you can see how much the scene has actually exploded, really.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And you and I are both familiar with it, having both been in college, or are I guess currently still in higher education of some form.
I mean, that's how it works generally.
Right.
When you're part of something, you are aware of it.
No, it's entirely possible to be in something and not be aware of anything whatsoever. Have you seen my support gameplay? Regardless, we are going to we're gonna head into Lafayette Tower Control Center as our first map.
Yeah, and this is gonna be a map where we see a lot of different kind of play usually, but the tanks are usually that Reinhardt Zarya at all levels.
Right. Right. And I think we're going to see, some interesting things from these teams because me and Regime, I mean, if they live up to their name at the very least, then we might see some strange stuff, right? That's always possible. And me and Regime, they said their favorite comp is dive, but they will play goats if necessary because it being the strongest, patch right now. Me and Regime in blue, Lafayette in red, and here we are, Lafayette Tower Control Center. Paulsible, the action is underway.
Yeah, and we certainly have some interesting comps coming out from both these teams. Got that Ryan Zarya though, as expected. Deflect onto that fire strike, going to give Disak a lot of ult charge here. I'm a dump, going forward, taking a bit of damage here, but he's gonna get that fire strike onto the Barbarian. Gonna pay for it with his life, however, and Chicken Ninja just pushing forward and ruining Meme Regime's day.
I mean, he also has Earth Shatter already, so very much ahead of the rest of the squad in terms of ult economy. Varrigan also has his ultimate, the Dragon Strike, so that he has been doing a ton of damage as well. So both these players, a ton of work here, and I think this composition can only be described as interesting. The Ryan Zarya, Baptiste, but then they're running Genji Hanzo with a Mercy. It's
the Shimada Bros comp.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Right.
That's how it works.
They're gonna start off. Oh my god, that's a ton of damage with that fire strike.
Yeah, the fire strike does 200 damage. It one-shots Punky. Now the Dragon Strike in doesn't manage to connect onto much of anything here.
If you didn't have Earth Shatter before that, he would 100% have had it by now.
Oh yeah, certainly. Now Disak and Ninja gonna be trading. Disak not watching where he's stepping so much there. Sometimes you do have to look at the floor.
Yeah. And okay, this coalescence was committed, but I think perhaps a little accidentally.
The shatter, Chicken Ninja somehow gets stunned out of the shatter there.
It has it up to 60% already, so it's fair.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It works when you just sometimes if you just hold left click, you get things done.
Yeah. Disak does have the Dragon Blade here, and I mean, there's a ton of ultimates online for Meme Regime, but the expectations are, how do you even get in? So it's a really tough place to be. Oh boy.
Oh no.
I mean,
that's a tougher place to be.
That's tough.
Your main healer gone.
It's reset already.
So much heal off the board. It's up to 80% too. So you're in that one fight territory right now, and so many ults are online here for Lafayette
the defense.
College.
Yeah, Lafayette. They're gonna re-engage with Rally Calder. Oh, but this fire strike hits anyone through the circle.
Disak gets shut down, middle of the blade. Now the tire is out here for Ninjam. Gonna go straight into that grab. Catch two, actually. Meme Regime working their way back in here despite the ults committed from Lafayette.
I mean, sometimes when you have the ultimate ability, all you can really do is just throw it out, right? And try and get value, and that's exactly what Meme Regime does.
Q, and it works.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you press Q and it doesn't, and Lafayette found that out the hard way.
Exactly. Well, they do have. Okay, this is a reset now.
Yeah.
Already a reset. They're using the coalescence, which is not
slowly backpedaling.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. You see that. You see that Lafayette is kind of staggering themselves out. Yeah, you may as well use the coalescence to try and get all the way back in. So I like
get caught on there, so it is a small advantage.
He will get back in time though. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll be back well before that Lafayette can even take advantage of the opening. So
Lafayette are gonna get a little bit of space, so you can't go forward and hold the choke if you know, one of your players is dead. He's gonna be back in more than enough time, as you said here. And we do have the Dragon combo. Yeah, there's that grab. The Dragon following it up, and there's no support alt. Oh, man. Yeah. That'll be a dead team for me, Regime, and a capped point for Lafayette.
Yeah. They don't get the team kill gong as the respawns are coming, but overtime is here, and that'll be it. And overtime ticks away. Lafayette sort of walking, you know, merry-go-round, little happy circles around the center of the control point as they take round 1.
Yeah, gonna give them a nice advantage here. Heading into our next round of Lijiang Tower, seems like we're going to be going to Gardens. So, this is a comp where, you know, at every level we really see DPS kind of shine, especially things like the Pharah, like the Widowmaker. The sightlines here are very pronounced.
That is a fair point. We see a ton of DPS here also, right? The Pharah, namely, but you can also see like.
I just said that.
The reason why I was saying the Pharah is because let me finish my point before you interrupt me. I know you said Pharah. I'm building on your point. The Pharah, but you can also see like. Okay, moving on. Yeah, I think the interesting thing here is that Chicken Ninja is actually still running the Reinhardt, right? Because I guess the Fire Strike can be a kind of a snipe at points, and finding value with it already. 20% ult charge.
Especially if you get that amp matrix up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him one-shot people last time with that, so wouldn't be surprised if he's just more comfortable on that hero. The Immortality field goes very far forward, gets taken out immediately by Chicken Ninja. But Punky does find a kill onto the Barbarian, so trade's going back and forth right now, a little bit chaotic, but Chicken Ninja is attempting to hold the front line down for Lafayette. Does manage to work his way up to that shatter, it catches 3, and that's going to be a fight win for Lafayette.
Calder is kind of not eating these fire strikes, and they're finding a ton of value. And, you know, the Reinhardt who uses, you know, a Reinhardt who gets 4 fire strikes that goes through multiple people in the first, like, 10 seconds is going to get value. There's no doubt in my mind that you're going to build up Earthshatter, and then there's no shield available, so he just kind of lays it down, and, you know, if you're knocked down on the ground, you can't react, and that will be the cleanup coming through. Lafayette already having advantage point-wise.
They're going to have that barrage and the amplification matrix as well. Oh, man, I can only imagine how that combo would go. That would be a ton of damage if you want to try and get that barrage off at a 90-degree angle. There's
Fire Strike eaten this time.
Matrix down. The Fire Strike was eaten in the barrage.
Oh, boy.
Over on the side does clean up the offense as they enter.
And Chicken Ninja throws himself off the map, but takes the D.Va with him, so I guess it's a fair trade.
Worth.
Yeah. Regardless. Oh, Concussive Blast. Not going to fight. Oh, actually almost finds DSAC there, but he gets back in the time. He has the...
He is Genji.
The dash. Yeah, he does have the dash. The high mobility hero there. And, you know, technically there's not that much hit scan to deal with Punky. There is obviously Valiant Snail, but beyond that, not a whole lot.
Yeah. And I mean, ultimately the Baptiste doesn't have enough damage to burn.
Right, the damage fall-off is pretty intense. Right.
Yeah.
Barrage online here. Expect a flank barrage.
Punky's actually coming up behind, but Big Freeze does spot him out, trying to get that far. Punky's awfully low here. Oh man, everybody's getting their ults out, but his D-Stock with a value at the moment does get shut down by the self-destruct, but the damage is already done here, and Lafayette are going to continue to hold.
Yeah. Chicken Ninja has not really, you know, aside from throwing himself off the map, has not really found, you know, he's found himself to be much more healthy than the rest of his kind of team, and they hold out now. 90% coming, and they've got Earthshatter too. So you know, should they try and play on point here, Meme Regime, they're gonna find themselves at the business end of a hammer.
Chicken Ninja. He actually stunts Punky there, and Punky's momentum carries him off the map. Oh, Evergarden now with the barrage going to connect onto 1 and follow it up with a second onto Zeus. Looking for 3 as he gets onto Calder. Imadon does connect onto a couple here, but it's just him on the point. And one Reinhardt isn't going to work out here. It's going to be Lafayette taking this round and taking the first map of the series.
Yeah, Punky goes off the map alongside Chicken Ninja, and that'll be it. Lijiang Tower. 200-0. They take the, well, I guess they not 200-0. They had some point percentage on first
They had
points.
some on the first one,
yeah.
on that control center here.
Right.
Gonna be Evergarden with the play of the game. We already know what this is. It's gonna be that Dragaton combo coming out on Control Center. Yep, there it is. The dragon flowing through the entirety of Meme Regime.
And they'll take point number 1. I mean, map number 1 with fair ease, and head into map number 2, leading up the series 1-0.
I think it's interesting, Lafon, because our
Yeah.
first series was American Revolution themed, right?
Right.
It was literally American Revolution versus Tea Party, right?
Mhm.
Now we come into series 2, and it's Lafayette who's winning it out. So
You'll have to explain this to me.
oh, okay. So for you Canadians out there, and I guess people who just don't know American history or haven't seen Hamilton, Lafayette was a French guy who came over and helped America win. Yeah, I'm really good at history.
It's
I mean,
succinct. I think it's probably the best
history
description.
at this point is just from Hamilton, so you could basically call me a history professor.
Okay, wow. I'm friends with a couple of history professors. I think all of them would be offended at what you just said.
Probably. I mean, I'm offended at what I just said. And I don't, what does that even mean?
True. Anyway, Eichenwald is this. I think we're gonna just try. We haven't played on an American map thus far this game, or this day.
Like I said yesterday, Hollywood, the only one in the map pool, right? I mean, Yesterday. Oh man, my brain is not good.
I feel like that description of Lafayette you made was so succinct that it kind of just removed some of your. Yeah. Woo.
See, I tried to actually chant. What happened was I overclocked my brain to try and remember like actual details about Lafayette that I learned like 8 years ago in high school, and I couldn't find it, so it just melted what little was actually there of my brain.
Right. This is why I don't pretend to know anything. It makes it a lot easier.
That's fair. That's fair. Although it makes your job a little bit harder as a color caster.
No, I said I don't pretend to know things. I know what I know.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Anyway.
that's fair.
We do have it looks like a substitute coming in here. Impossible starting up on the roster for Meme Regime.
Huh. I kind of wonder what's the stitch with that.
I'm not sure. I also don't. I'm going to ignore that hideously bad pun.
Yeah, I kind of reached for that. I'm gonna be real. It was probably I probably could have saved that one, but I was too excited.
Speaking of which, it's actually been a really long time since I've watched that show. Like years.
I gotta be real. Not excited for the live action one.
Wait, there's a live action one?
Don't look it up. Don't look it up. You don't want to see it.
All right. Well, we've got a bunker kind of defense here from Meme Regime, and it's certainly the best.
If there's no Orisa.
It does have the Bastion though.
Yeah. Impossible gonna be rocking the high damage hero here. I'm gonna laugh at that name every time I say it. I guarantee you. There's some great names in this actually. Valiant Snail, Chicken Ninja. There's some great names on these teams here. Some great plays too. Oh, actually, nice immortality field keeping Kimpossible alive there as the pressure came in. Immortality fields on both sides actually.
Yeah.
Keeping both teams alive here, but now Lafayette not going to have that. Ooh, but Impossible just going to get melted. The classic deflect coming in from DSOC, followed up by Evergarden. Gonna mean Lafayette pushes forward rather easily.
Sometimes the best way to deal with a Bastion is literally run at him faster than he can shoot you and just knock him out. And they do just that. So DSOC, with no fear whatsoever, dashes into the Bastion. He deflects the bullets and then is helped by Evergarden. And they take out the.
A lot online here
Evergarden.
for Evergarden as well.
I think it's pronounced Evergarden, but there's an extra V at the beginning.
Yeah,
Evergarden lights himself on fire. That's
Oh man, that's a feels bad. Oh boy, but is gonna be staying alive. The healing is there, thankfully. But
also another change up here. Kimpossible switches over the Junkrat. So, oh my, that is the amplification matrix coming through.
For both sides, actually, here. The Coalescence going through, it just burns Chicken Ninja alive. The Tac Visor out from DSOC does counteract that. Now Bob's down on the field. We'll see if he can manage to do anything. Not really through the shields. Just going to be completely deleted. Riptire now from Kimpossibles. Everybody's pressing Q as quickly as they can. Tire connects onto the shattered Valiant Snail. And it seems like Meme Regime are going to hold for the moment.
Yeah, that's a. They also expend. I don't think Ultimate Economy is. It's more of a alt hedony because they just use everything that they can. I don't think that's how that's intended to be used. But we're gonna do it anyway.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But you know, if it, I can't judge you for using English poorly at this point, right? I mean,
nice pick off there.
I've already
Very
debased
good.
myself when it comes to that. Yeah, good pick from Evergarden onto Kim Possible means you're not going to have to worry about that high spam damage coming in. So you can afford to get a little bit more aggressive here. Although you are kind of Graviton Surge, but the Immortality Field is there. It gets cleaned up a little bit late, so there aren't any kills able to come out of that, especially with the Transcendence from Big Freeze, keeping everybody on Lafayette nice and healthy. The pin is going to come in here for Chicken Ninja, but the kill is connected onto before that even matters. Coalescence from Matt in desperation, but the payload's moving forward undeterred.
Right, you don't have the main tank there in front of you anymore, so you can't really hold your front line. And Lafayette continue to move forward. Isak gonna back up just a little bit with the dash, trying to find value. The tackle visor from the flank here. It's stunned out with the shatter.
Beautiful play there from Chicken Ninja, but it's not going to keep him alive. The Amplification Matrix and the Fire Strike still too strong of a combo.
Yep. It's 200 damage even, so you know you just kind of die.
Yep. That's generally how it works. If you have 200 health and you take 200 health's worth of damage, you're not alive anymore.
Fire Strike is 100. Is what? It's
100.
It's 100 even? Okay.
100 even.
Right. All right. So, yeah, times 2. And
it's 200. We can do basic math.
Well, I mean, I could
gets caught at the doorway, actually, so not optimal there, but Dragon Blade out from D-Stock, going to be working out relatively well. Connects onto 1, connects onto 2. Both healers down, so all the sustainability off the board. And the Transcendence out from Big Freeze. I don't know if that was needed, but you know what? You win the fight.
Yeah, you do, and you unlock point the third, and we head now into the last point of Eichenwald. Now, I mean, this has been a bit of a slow start for both teams. I think on Eichenwald, you know, they're taking their time. They're really trying to figure out exactly how the enemy team is sort of playing around, you know, their resources and so forth. And you know, with Kim Possible here with the Riptire, this could be they could end up holding just off the back of some massive damage coming through.
Just waiting for it. Waiting a little too long. You're going to lose the Riptire there, buddy. Okay, he goes forward. Managed to catch Chicken Ninja at the last little bit. So, good patience there from Kim Possible to see if anybody was going to overextend. But you managed to kill the main tank and win the fight out.
Right. And, you know, they kill Barbarian at the very end as well. So, you're gonna lose out here as back to Garden. Back to spawn you go. You know, a little soft reset as Big Freeze goes down as well. And here now, Valiant Snail so weak. Gonna get away, barely, but it works out. And you know, some time taken off the clock. About a minute here for Meme Regime.
Yeah, there's still 3 minutes left on this offense for Lafayette College. So you're not really sweating yet, especially since you've got ults coming online. The Amplification Matrix nearly up for Valiant Snail yet again. It does charge very quickly, this ultimate. Now the Graviton Surge Amp Matrix out from the other side, but nobody's really there to find the proper angle put down by Zeus. Zeus now going to be pinned backwards into the wall here, and I'm not going to be able to clean up anything through the Immortality Field.
All right, and the Barbarian just playing Gatekeeper here now at the spawn doors as Lafayette continue to play their really aggressive, you know, or at least play a very postured far forward look, and try and just hold out the gates here.
Rally is there for the offense. Attack Visor out in the back line. The pin on Kim Possible means that Desperation Bastion not going to work out, and the Shatter to clean it up. That's going to be a 2-minute, 15-second time bank here for the offense.
Yep. Lafayette, you know, closing it out here, and now they head to the defense. And I think if you're Meme Regime, it's a bit of an awkward play initially, right? Because you don't have a ton of space to work with there, and a ton of ultimates just get dumped. And what do you do, right? You've got like what 5 ultimates that are committed, and it's a tough one to go up against if you have no resources of your own.
Certainly is. Gonna be pretty tough to match that time bank as well. 2 minutes, 15 seconds. Pretty solid time here on Eichenwald.
It is. I mean, it's like what, you know, we expect this map to be. I think one of the things that we're kind of noticing too is that teams are starting to close out Eichenwald with more and more time. And I think in general, maps have become a situation where if you close out a map, you're closing it out with more time than you ever historically have. And
teams have gotten a lot better at attacking.
Right. You either get full held or cap with, like, you know, 10 years left. So I think it's kind of interesting to see the evolution of Overwatch.
It's fun. Overwatch is a fun game. It is. You heard it here first. All right. Well, it's going to be a 2-2-2 comp. Can say that much about Lafayette's defensive composition here. Going to be the Rein Zarya. They've been rocking that look all series. Chicken Ninja, very comfortable on the Reinhardt, it seems, in comparison to the Winston, which he's yet to pull out.
Right.
That happens a lot with main tanks, honestly. They'll usually favor one over the other.
One of the main tanks, yeah, exactly. Once you get to the, like, you know, even at the pro level.
Oh yeah,
it's
very few main tanks that can play them all too.
Right. I can only think of a handful that play, you know, multiple main tanks at the highest level. So.
Certainly, like what, Mono? Who else? Honestly.
All right. Kim Paulsible. Oh.
Give me a lot of damage. The Immortality field is gone. An aggressive push. Imadum steps out of the field just a hair. He does trade onto Chicken Ninja here, so even fight, all things considered, for both teams right now. The Coalescence is out, but it's a little late to save Kim Possible's mech. Gonna have to try and get aggressive with this. Already a Dragon Strike here for Desac and connects onto Zeus, so it's gonna be too hard here for Meme Regime to get on in.
Right, unless they get another pick off and a half early on, they're gonna be kind of awkward. They're gonna have to reset. Oh, Graviton committed. I don't know that they needed that, but you know they're gonna confirm the fight.
It gets the staggers.
Exactly. And Avangard in there, you know, coming in with McCree, really showing the ability to hit the targets and get the final blows. So really well done there by. I mean, I would still qualify it as an overinvestment, but regardless, it's good. It's good to at least, if you're going to overinvest, at least you confirm all those final blows.
Yeah, better to overinvest and get something out of it than to overinvest and get nothing out of it.
Right.
Speaking of getting nothing out of it, Big Freeze gonna make sure that Meme Regime doesn't get anything out of this push. Right now, he's just chewing through everybody. He's got that high charge. Manages to avoid that Roadhog hook, just barely getting around the corner there.
Yeah. And Desac already nearly up to that Dragon Strike again, so, you know, you're going to have that. Oh, and this is going to be... The Hanzo, one of the characters that really benefits from the Amplification Matrix.
Good way to get around that, though, for Meme Regime. They sort of just sidestep it entirely here. They do get caught out in that room a little bit, and the Grab Dragon combo doesn't really come through here for Lafayette on the defense. So it'll be Meme Regime cleaning that one up off the back of Ninjam.
Yeah.
And getting that first point.
Right, and they do with the Graviton Surge whole Hog. Not really a combo we see very often these days, right? Because Hog, Hog can be punished pretty extremely if he gets caught out. But Ninjam, you know, staying inside the team, doing a really good job of just staying alive, getting value out of the hooks, and Meme Regime, they unlock point A.
Point B is now going to be the goal. They are going to have some tools in their belt. Going to have that Amplification Matrix up yet again. It does come up very quickly here. Going to have the option to try and get those one-shots. Reminder, there is no Diva here for the defense. The Immortality field going to keep Lafayette College alive for the moment, but they're going to lose out on Barbarian, who was just a little bit too far forward. Now, Lafayette's going to have to backpedal as that payload keeps on moving.
All right, and now Meme Regime will get, you know, pretty far in terms of second point here, as they only had to really use the Earth Shatter. Oh, nice hook there.
Ooh, that is a good hook. Straight off the map with you to South.
It's really tough to recover once you get hooked like that, right? Unless you're like a diva or.
No, you just jump over to that little outcropping on the side.
I think he was pretty far. I don't think he would have made it. So.
Oh, well, unfortunate then for him. Ooh, deep pin coming from Imadum. Takes a lot of damage, but he's got the peel there, both the bubble and the Immortality field, actually. But now the blade is out, the Dragon Strike as well. Both Shimada bros using those tattoos to their best advantage.
Do you think the tattoos give you the dragon spirit? Or is it something that's just like...
So, it's kind of weird when you talk about Overwatch, right? Because it's like all of this like futuristic like technology, and then for some reason you just have two magical like ninjas.
Yeah.
So I always thought it was like the tattoos have like some kind of like micro tech that interacts with like, because it's like only a Shamana can control the dragons, right? I always thought it was like some kind of micro tech that interacts with something in like their blood, like their DNA.
Yeah. I mean, alternately, if you were if you're a mafia, you wouldn't want your secrets being given away. So you would say it's only the Shamanas who can do it. So. I
mean, that makes sense too. Also makes sense is that Shadow from Chicken Ninja does get stunned out a little bit by Imadum. Nice, actually, angle on that one there. The self-destruct connects onto Desac too, and with Barbarian going down yet again, and the whole hog out from Ninjam. Meme Regime actually going to push forward here without too much of an issue.
Right. And Kim Possible flies in with the ship and then with the mech really, and give a quick punch. I feel like if you get punched with a mech, it should just sort of drop you instantly. It's a 1-ton mech.
It's like getting hit with a baseball bat, I imagine, right?
Well, much worse because it's a 1-ton mech with mechanics behind it. I feel like it'd be a lot worse.
I mean, you're not getting hit with the whole mech though. It's just like the arm, right?
Yeah,
wait, are you
talking
about the boosters?
Yeah, that too.
I mean, if you get hit with the boosters, I don't know how these guys are. Although, if you get hit with the boosters on like your full body, it's like a ton of blunt force, right? So
yeah,
it's not that much of an issue. But what is an issue is Zeus going down immediately here. The Dragaton coming out, eating through Meme Regime. Defense is going to be able to stabilize.
Right, it was Zeus going down. There was no immortality field, right? So you kind of just lose out there to the combo. So yeah, I mean that's gonna be a reset. I remember that one patch where we always saw was Dragon Strike combos because it could burn through Transcendence. Yeah. That was a fun time.
When the Mercy damage boost applied to it. Yeah.
Right.
That was an interesting time, but
it was.
not gonna be the case here anymore. Although without a Zenyatta for Meme Regime, that Dragaton combo is still going to be just as deadly. It's not going to be online here for a little bit. What is going to be online is
good
Shatter coming out from Chicken Ninja, catches everybody on Meme Regime, and now we just got a blade to boot. Makes it an easy job to hold here for Lafayette.
Yeah, they even get their D-Max, so they're going to stagger out here Kim Possible, who's going to try and walk back to spawn here, but it's a really awkward engagement because you're walking into a choke, so you don't really have control of how far you can go. And I'm a dumb, just kind of lets his shield down for a moment. Chicken Ninja takes full advantage of it, and the Shatter hits 4 or 5, and they clean up.
Gonna be a minute 40 on the time bank here for Meme Regime as they try and push their way on in. Ooh, just a narrow miss there on the hook from Ninjam. There's the Amp Matrix down on the field here. Evergarden trying to deny the value on that with the deflect, but it's going to have to be a little bit of a backpedal. Good grab, just thrown out there, but the immortality field is there, actually, to keep them alive. And Kim Possible with the bomb catches 2 in the back who weren't able to take that immortality field to full advantage. So, Meme Regime going to find their way in here.
Right. Oh, good hook there, too, and they're going to find the final blow. And, they're eating time off the clock, though, and Lafayette's going to get one more fight before the end of this push.
Yeah, they are. The Mei is out as well, so the stall hero is coming out. Guys, you need to get to the point. Okay, they managed to get there. Amplification Matrix down as well. Shatter everything out here for Lafayette. They don't want to risk losing that last fight there, but they're not going to have any tools online for what will be the very last fight of this round.
Right, and Evergarden had to use the Dragon Blade there to get us, just to get the kills. And really strong play, but ultimately it is another resource gone. And Punky does have the Graviton Surge here, as does the Impact Ultimate of the tanks here. So I expect them to play aggressively. They need to capture with time remaining, though, right? Because otherwise they won't get a second chance to attack. And at this point in time, you kind of need that to...
It doesn't look like that's really going to be a possibility here for Meme Regime, unless they manage to just steamroll this fight.
Oh, the grab kind of whiffs, yeah.
Punky. That's not what you were aiming to do there. Although, good Amplification Matrix Fire Strike yet again here from Meme Regime.
Good Shatter.
Nice Shatter as well. Catches 2. Does get stunned out of the charge there. Nice counter pin, but the time does tick down to 0 here, so Meme Regime, they're gonna seemingly win out this fight for the moment, but they're gonna have to cap this in overtime.
Right. And I mean, Evergarden trying to build up this Dragon Blade, but he's gonna get taken down. That's it. That being said, it's not possible now for Meme Regime to win out this map. They will full cap, but they have 2 minutes and 15 seconds to kind of hold on one tick on point A.
They can't go for that draw though, right?
Yeah.
And assuming they just need to clean up a little bit. Both teams kind of getting rolled a bit on their offensive or on their defensive hold on point A. So if Meme Regime can manage to clean up a little bit there, I believe they brought out the Bastion that first time around. So maybe go with a little bit of a more high percentile play rather than the risky Bastion on the side there.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's a tough call to make though, because cheese is often the best way to deal with last minute pushes, because you don't need a ton of resources to get them online initially. They kind of fail out when you run into the ultimate bank. That's kind of where they struggle to when you have more ultimates to kind of deal with them. That's when they kind of fail. But in the initial fights, because they catch you off guard, they can be pretty useful. So That's often why you see a Bastion in last fight scenarios. I don't think you're obviously not seeing it here so far, and I like the changes. I like the evolution. It's just that is one of the reasons why you end up seeing cheese comps, in those last-minute holds.
Oh yeah. Definitely. But we're not going to see that here. Paulsible not on the Bastion this time. Going to be over on the Junkrats. They're going to be able to spam out the choke very effectively here, especially if Zeus gets that amplification matrix online. That would be an unbelievable amount of damage there. But they're going to have to live long enough to do so. Gonna be 2 minutes on the clock here. Nice Vey Wall actually splits off most of Lafayette. But you need to get the kills here, Meme Regime, and now the Immortality Field is there. Ninjam going down as well, going to make it very difficult for Meme Regime to try and hold. Evergarden's already over on that point. Matt going to go back and try and meet him, but one Moira against the world is going to be a little bit difficult. Nearly up at that tick. The Shatter comes down, catches out too, and that is looking like dire straits here for the defense. Ninjam is back now. Chicken Ninja does get frozen up and taken down. So Meme Regime back into this one. Barbarian going down as well. Coalescence invested a little bit late there. The fight was already won.
Right, but I think there the hero of the play is I'm actually playing the Mei, and Chicken Ninja, even though he did a ton of work, wasn't actually able to confirm any of the kills from the Earth Shatter, and that is one of the reasons why they kind of went out that fight. But, that's one ultimate, and they start to build up towards the remainder. They're going to have the Dragon Blade shortly. There's the Amplification Matrix and the Riptire.
Yeah, Riptire goes around the side, catches two, and that is an automatic reset for Lafayette. They're not going to be able to work their way in here.
Right. It's really interesting to me how much value the Amplification Matrix has gotten in this series with the combo in the Fire Strike, right? Like, they've gotten, 4 or 5 kills in several pushes. And...
that's what happens when there's no Diva, right? You
right.
can't really keep that up, so
exactly.
You're going to be getting chewed through.
Anyway, here comes that first, there it is, the Fire Strike yet again.
Actually, it gets Zeus, and there's the Shatter out from Chicken Ninja. Doesn't manage to find much of anything, and now he's got a very deep pin. Gotta be careful. Actually gets counter pinned there, and Desok's gonna have the Nano Blade out, but he gets grabbed, so not gonna find any kind of value. With the Shatter catching onto Evergarden, it's looking good for the defense to actually get this draw. The Sound Barrier is out, but doesn't really connect onto any kind of kills, and now with the Coalescence back for the defense, it's a lot of healing and damage out on the other way. It is a good Bionade, catching onto Ninjam. We're going to go into overtime here. Chicken Ninja now just swinging around the point, desperately trying to stall this one out, but you need to actually connect onto these kills if you're Lafayette and you want to try and win out this point. Nothing really going on either way. Armadum trying to freeze up Barbarian here. Going to hold that shield up, try and cleanse that off. Zeus is the next one down, but the Barbarian is traded out, so it's still a very scrappy fight here, Lafon.
Right, and the only thing is there's that Graviton Surge, and you'd expect the cleanup to come through, but the Minefield is there. Imadum goes down. If this Riptire doesn't find more than one, it doesn't find anything. That will be it. They stay on point here, and that is it. Meme Regime, they take the loss here in Lafayette. They win it out here in fashion. They take it, in 4-3 and take the series, or lead the series here 2-0.
Yeah, Lafayette is taking the horse by the reins here. Desok with the play of the game. Gotta imagine this is that Dragaton combo that they had yet again. Actually, no, it's just that nice shot, and then it's the Dragaton. All right, well, that certainly works out. Once you've removed that Baptiste, there's no Immortality Field, so that is actually a pretty decent combo there coming out from Lafayette. Very good compositional awareness.
No, very, very smart, and it's a really smart play there from Lafayette. I think they understand their win conditions is really intelligent as well. Very, very smart there from Lafayette.
Well, we'll see if Lafayette can wrap up this series or if Meme Regime can pull off that reverse sweep after a short halftime break. This is the North American Open Division. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the North American Open Division. We're here with Lafayette College versus Meme Regime. Lafayette currently up 2-0 as we head into our third map, which will be Temple of Anubis.
And you know, Assault is always the outlier map, right? This is the map where things just get strange, right? We can see. I mean, these teams have not done what we would consider running complete metacom. Yeah, convention is in fact the word that we would kind of not use to describe these guys. But so I think here in Assault, this might be, you know, where Meme Regime could really come out to play, because you know, you're walking into a team, or you're walking into a map that favors the unconventional, and could be the opportunity they're looking for to kind of open it all up.
So what you're saying is, what we can expect from these two teams that aren't conventional is the unconventional.
Right. I tried to decipher that in my head, and it's yes.
I mean, it seems very straightforward to decipher. What is not conventional? Unconventionality.
I'm giving you a hard time for no reason.
That sounds like you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're going to be jumping in here to Temple of Anubis. It will be the Meme Regime on the defense first, looking to come back in this series. They are down 2-0 right now, so they're going to have to pull off that reverse sweep if they want to win this one out.
And it all starts here. And Assault is one of those maps, right, too, where you can do... I mean, going back to the conversation we had at the start of this map, and I think we were joking, like, sort of, like, about how we were saying it, but it is very much the case. You can really cost teams time and space by playing the awkward
things that they're not prepared for.
Right. And especially if you're seeing a team is kind of struggling to engage, you can play things that thrive on the disengage, or thrive at the range combat. And already, that's kind of what we're seeing here. Double shield Bastion high ground defense. This could be, especially if Lafayette's not particularly ready for this, it could be a real threat to them, because you need to engage in this composition. You can't play spam out from range because of the amount of shield health they have.
But engaging on the composition is also incredibly difficult, especially when you have that Baptiste there with the high healing and the immortality field. Ooh, nice halt there, actually, from Imadum. Pulls Big Freeze out into the open sight lines, makes it so that it's relatively easy to pick that main tank off. Right now, most of Lafayette just hiding off to the side, trying not to give the Bastion line of sight while they figure out a way to get in here.
Right. And I'm going to spot out the turrets and get a little bit of damage through, you know, building up to that wall. The giant one, Punky already up to 60%. So
they're gonna have to go for this dive. Right now, they're sending Vevergarden around to the side where there's no
and
shield.
D-Sack in the background, too.
But it's not gonna quite work out for them. All they managed to connect onto is that immortality field. Interesting choice of the tank mode there from Paulsible, but the fight is won.
I mean, you're dashing into a team that can't die and has a ton of damage output and a ton of healing. I feel like that's not the correct choice there, and they kind of just die as a result. So this, I would expect to see, you know, if I was kind of on Lafayette, what I would do is I would play on the high ground opposite to them and then play underneath them, right? Force them off the high ground, force them to get away from, you know, the damage.
Well, then you do run into the issue, though, if they have that Symmetra teleporter, right? So theoretically, you play underneath them, they can toggle their sightline onto the other high ground, right? And actually manage to get you. Now, they are going to go for that line of sight play that you mentioned, but there's that Symmetra teleporter coming out. One tick is already taken, however. Right. There's the shield coming out from the Symmetra. Punky throwing that one out here, but actually, it's not going to work out very well. The shield not necessarily in the optimal position. Valiant Snail, it does go down here, but Vevergarden up overhead, now just pelting into Impossible. The res has already been used on a Punky, and now the Dragon Blade is out as well, and that's going to clean up the defense here and likely give Lafayette that point 8 cap.
I mean, it's still a staggered out play, so it's still very likely that they could bring this one back somehow, and especially with the immortality field, but the spawns...
Actually, the Shatter there going to connect onto a couple. It's not nearly going to be enough at the moment, though. With Ninja M getting cleaned up, there we go. Finally, Lafayette confirmed control of the point.
Right, and I mean, if you're going to dump like 5 ultimates into that, you would hope that you take the point. They do just that, so Lafayette really opening it up. They're going to stay on the Bastion here. I mean, it's tougher on the second point because the sight lines are better for the offense against the Bastion. There's more vertical cover. There's more opportunity of flanking in and out. And so I feel like the Bastion play here, right, it's a little less optimal as Evergarden finds.
Oh.
He gets 2-tapped by a McCree and a Bastion. You just kind of get taken out there.
Evergarden disagrees with you. Evergarden's like, no, Bastion's still very much obnoxious here. Big Free's gonna get stunned out as well, so taken down there. So Lafayette gonna have to try again.
And yeah, I mean, it's a first fight though, and you know you still have a ton of time left, so it's not unexpected. Valiant still does have this Transcendence, so you can kind of expect perhaps that they'll run aggro with the Transcendence. But I think what's going to happen here is Zeus is going to try and put the amplification matrix down and try and spam them out as they enter. And obviously, like, you know, with the amount of damage that comes through with the Bastion and the amplification matrix, that's a real threat to work on.
Certainly is. Big Freeze jumps straight onto the point. Ooh, nice barrage there from Evergarden. Unexpected, catches out two. Now the amplification matrix is there and the tank mode is there to combo with it, but the bomb into the back line finds 3. Beautifully placed from Chicken Ninja means that full cap is coming through.
That'll do it. And round 1 is complete, in fact, and so Lafayette, you know, they sort of set their time bank. They say, here's where we are, come to us. And remember, Lafayette at match point. So if Meme Regime can't find the victory here, they can't find the completion, then they will have dropped the series. But you know, there's still opportunity. 4 minutes 2 seconds, especially with how long it took Lafayette to kind of react to the composition that Meme Regime was running. There is still an opportunity here for Meme Regime to find some value.
Certainly is. I mean, 4 minutes 2 seconds isn't the most blazing time we've seen. It's certainly good, right? You cap with, I always like to think you cap with 1 minute full cap on Assault. It's not great, right? You cap with 2 to 3, that's all right. 4 to 5, you're looking pretty, and anything over that, you're fantastic.
Right.
So,
and I mean, 4 minutes 2 seconds is very solidly in the respectable category. So.
Oh, undoubtedly.
And now, I wonder. One of the things too here is like how is Meme Regime going to react to that time bank, because you don't really want to get full held out here, right? You want to be able to close through point A and point B. And so I would expect them to run, you know, sort of a highly control-based composition. That means the Reinhardt and the Zarya, and we can already see them opening up with that kind of composition. So I expect them to sort of play to the point and like kind of hold out there and go from there.
It's definitely a pick-based composition when you see both the Widowmaker and the Roadhog coming through, right? You want to just try and get these solo kills and stall them out entirely. But you know what? Meme Regime, their backs to the wall, and they're going to pull out the goats.
Yeah, I mean, the Baptiste is in play, so no Brigitte, but...
Well, no Zen, actually.
Well, no Zen, you're right. You're correct. I made a mistake there, but no, you are correct. No Zen in play. And, I mean, the lack of Discord Orb can be a real problem, but if you can substitute the damage with the Shiro healing output, it could be a difference maker.
Right now, Meme Regime just going to charge their way on forward, but they do lose Zeus first and foremost, and the Immortality Field is out for Lafayette on this defense, so going to get stalled out a bit. So much healing gone, and now the Riptire's out as well. Going to make it easy to clean this one up for Lafayette.
Yeah, they don't even lose anyone, right? They use 2 ultimates, but they very, very significantly hold the point, and they actually kind of prevent Meme Regime from even building that much, if you like really look at it, considering how close quarters that fight was. So you know, I think if you're Lafayette, you're more than okay with that fight.
Certainly. But there are some ults starting to come online here for Meme Regime. They're going to go for a different rotation this time. They're just going to go around the defense. They don't really want to deal with where they're set up on the high ground right now. Oh, but a bit of a split. Half the team goes to point, and the other half seems to thought they were going to high ground. So now it's 3 players on the point for Meme Regime. They do manage to get rid of that amplification matrix, but they do, or not amplification, the immortality field, but they lose Armor Dumb in the process, and Calder. So this is going down as well. Evergarden is uncontested on this high ground, and it's going to give him all the opportunity to get tons of damage in.
Right, and tons of damage go through. They use the whole hog, but it's more than okay. You're trading out ultimates for ultimates, and you're holding out. Not even a tick given. Kim Possible doesn't even get a chance to get back in mech, and that's going to be a reset now for Meme Regime. About 2 minutes taken off the clock here for Lafayette's defense, and you know, they're in a pretty good position. They got a ton of ultimates coming online here towards this fight.
You're gonna have to get value out of these ultimates. Oh, Punky's gonna have to be careful. Zeus as well, taking a lot of damage on that entry. Luckily, it's a high healing composition, so you can survive it.
Oh,
there's a shatter, catches onto a couple there. The sound barrier is out, and the grab coming out the other way. The immortality field is actually behind most of Lafayette, so they couldn't connect, but the bomb connects into that tiny little corridor. 3 down means that it's pretty easy for Meme Regime to push their way on forward.
Right, and it's going to be a reset here now. Oh, the rally's committed. I guess they really want this to be a one-out fight, right? They really want this to be the point. Yeah, exactly. It's better safe than sorry. So they use the rally here, and with a minute half remaining, they will capture point A and head to point B. They did use a ton, though. They will have the amplification matrix, and the Earth Shatter. So that is tools that are available here to them. And that, you know, if they can avoid this Riptire, this could be the opening for them to capture point B.
Certainly, or if they just get a nice amplification or immortality field for that
Chicken
Riptire.
Ninja goes down.
Chicken Ninja going down already. First and foremost, that is not how you want to start this off, but you also don't want to lose your Zarya. So trade's going back and forth right now, and ultimately that's going to favor the defense as the respawns come in. Chicken Ninja already back into this fight, and Meme Regime are going to have to back on it.
And a reset now coming through, as we kind of highlighted. And now, the other thing, too, is that they use the amplification matrix, so they just have the Earth Shatter. And Ninjam's going to switch off the Brigitte here to the Junkrat. They clearly feel that Valiant Snail's been getting so much value that, you know, you kind of want to mirror it out. And I can understand why, right? You can understand the spam damage coming through, the shield break, and then, of course, the Riptire being so valuable to these teams. So you can expect, I think, a ton of damage to come through on the offense, but... you know, again, this Riptire could be a game changer here in this fight.
Yeah, didn't have to use it last time. Gonna have a chance to clean up with it this time. Right now, Valiant Snail just hiding on the high ground. It's hard for anyone from Meme Regime to really deal with that. And he's just gonna throw it out and catch 2 immediately, shutting down that push before they even really get anywhere.
And Ninjam is, you know, they date the Barbarian going after it with the Blaster. Not gonna find the kill, but that's a little threat going through. And there it is. The reset comes through now.
It's the mind games.
Yeah,
I don't
really
even need to heal my team. I'm just gonna shoot you.
Right. I mean, you know, there's moments where if you don't want to burn the Resurrect there, the fight's already over.
Yeah. So.
And you know, try to build up perhaps you know, the last little percentage to the Valkyrie. They do have it online now too, of course. So you know, last couple of moments here now. Again, Chicken Ninja with the Earth Shatter could be they're going to send in the rally early.
But if Evergarden and Big Freeze on the flank managed to catch 2 squishy backline members. Unfortunate there for Meme Regime. They're just gonna get stalled out here as well on the
ultimates even
staggered
needed.
out.
Yeah, no ultimates even needed.
Yeah, not at all.
That's
and the ult's coming out for Meme Regime as well.
Right.
They use both the rally and the self-destruct there.
Right, exactly. Not a ton of value gains from that play. So Evergarden looking for a flank or a play here with the Death Blossom most likely, and he's sitting up here on the high ground with the flank. As you know, I don't think Meme Regime sees him.
No, it doesn't seem that Evergarden has been caught out right now, but not really going to get any kind of value at the moment here. Speaking of value, Big Freeze just completely shutting down most of the push. Now Evergarden is coming in, but even needed
Riptire.
Valiant Snail with the 3K Riptire over the wall, shutting down the push yet again. 2 minutes, 22 seconds.
I mean, you know, you're so focused on the Reaper, and then what does they send in with the Riptire overhead? It's a really good bait. And Evergarden, you know, he just sort of walks into the team and is like, "Oh, hi, I'm here. I might be using the Death Blossom," and then, surprise, from the air, Valiant Snail's Riptire kills them all.
Oh man, Big Freeze. I don't know if this was the play. Oh, he does have that ability, but not enough of a breather to avoid getting caught out. Going to be losing his life there. Now the Coalescence is out. Oh, Evergarden with the Death Blossom catches 1, but he is immediately killed by Ninjam. Chicken Ninja finding yet another, though, with 2 down. It's so difficult to find their way in, but despite that, they invest the Riptire. Oh, it seems like the call is that this is a winnable fight here for Meme Regime. Big Freeze is back on the point, and the Roadhog can stall out a decent amount of time. Does have to go off to the side. Now the progress is slowly going to start going. The stall heroes are out in force for Lafayette. They've got the May, the Wrecking Ball, everything they could need online, and they've got the kills to boot. It's just Punky and a Baby Diva on the point right now. The reinforcements come in, but it's not, even with the rally coming out from Zeus, it doesn't look like this is going to be enough.
Right. The other part, too, is that they're going to have the Riptire online as well, so even more unlikely for them to be able to close this one out. And, oh, the freeze on Punky. And that's going to be it. A couple of kills come through, and a minute remaining here on the clock, and Lafayette have really put themselves in a very good position.
And this is one of the problems when you don't run that Lucio with this this high tanky composition, right? Is that
Right.
you don't have the mobility, so Valiant Snail can kind of just get all the value on the entry that he feels like.
Right.
You can't make those rotations quickly, but what you can do is find a kill on a big freeze. It is going to be rezzed up here, but now that's one cooldown not available for the defense. Mean Regime try and push their way on in. This is going to be the Riptire coming out overhead. Does find onto Punky. Already a kill down, 25 seconds on the clock. They're just going to have to push in without him.
There's that May wall come through. They want to find, oh, Big Freeze, another kill. And, you know, they don't have the Mercy, obviously, so no Resurrect here available to them. And they're going to use the Tactical Visor, but the Transcendence is there.
The Self-Destruct is there as well, though. Catches one, but the pure damage of the Blizzard connects onto two. Doesn't look like anybody's going to be able to touch here, so Lafayette College going to be winning this series out in a 3-0 fashion.
Yeah, very impressive there for Lafayette. They looked really strong across the majority of the maps and continue to take that victory through. So Lafayette, they take the 3-0 and they hold here on second point of Anubis to get the victory. And Lafayette, they take a victory now for themselves again.
Nice tank play coming out from Chicken Ninja. Helped secure his team the series.
Really had a ton of value on Reinhardt. Yeah,
you know, we didn't.
His Reinhardt had a ton of value. We saw him on Wrecking Ball towards the end a little bit, but
yeah, sure, for the stall, and then you stay on it because
right.
you have the minefield up. But ultimately, great work there on that team.
Very, very well done there by Lafayette, and they take the victory in our second match today.
Yeah, but that won't be the last match of the day. We got one more coming at you after a short break. Don't go anywhere. This is the North American Open Division.